Hello, I'm Baily, and in today's episode I'm going to be counting down my top 5 moments from The Magician's Apprentice. Welcome to the brain of Baily. Okay, so I didn't really have time to write a review of The Magician's Apprentice because of things got in the way, so what I thought I'd do is just count down my top 5 moments, and that would... I loved it, by the way. It was amazing, but if I just... my top 5 moments, I'm going to count them down and tell you what I thought about them, because episode 2 airs tomorrow, and I'd like to do another top 5 moments when that comes out as well. So, top 5 moments from The Magician's Apprentice, here we go. Okay, number 5, we have the introduction of the Doctor in Essex, in whatever year it was. I thought this introduction, I thought it might be, when I saw a picture of Peter Capaldi playing the guitar, I thought it was going to be quite cringeworthy, because, you know, but it wasn't. It was really, really fun to watch, and the music was great, and if it was Peter Capaldi playing, whether he recorded over or whatever, it was fantastic. It sounded amazing, and also it looked amazing. It was a Doctor playing a guitar on a tank, rolling into sort of a battle arena. It was a battle arena. It just looked amazing, and all that sort of contrasting stuff just worked so well together. It made sense as well. The Doctor's about to die again for about the 9th time. Again. But that doesn't matter. He was about to die again, and it made sense that he wanted to throw a party again. But it made sense, and it was good, and it looked good. It sounded great, and it was, as you were watching it. I mean, the first time I watched The Magician's Apprentice, I was slightly intoxicated with alcohol, a little bit, not a lot. So I thought I'd better watch it again, just because my first viewing didn't have much judgment over anything. So yeah, but it looked good. It was quite a shocking thing to watch. It was kind of bleed back a bit because it's not what you expected the Doctor to do, and it was just overall fantastic. I loved it. Number 4 is the introduction of Old Faces, something which I thought Moffat had a bit of an aversion to because he never really seemed to do it. He always said, "I'll only bring Captain Jack back if it's a monumental occasion. I'll only bring River back if it's a monumental occasion." It's like, oh, but just bring them back for fun. Just have them for an episode. Everyone would love you, but no. But this episode, we saw Khan, which we saw the 4th Doctor story, but more recently in The Night of the Doctor, then in the prologue, and now in The Magician's Apprentice. We saw Ohila, I think her name is, talking with the Doctor, so she was in an actual episode. We saw the Shadow Proclamation again, which was amazing, and a Jadoon, although obviously they couldn't afford to have the Jadoon prosthetic because he just had the helmet on. But that's fine, we still saw a Jadoon. And we saw the Maldivonian Market, which we didn't see Dorium, but you know, I think we'll live. But we saw the market, we saw the Ood, we saw the Kala people, oh god, what they call with the weird things on the face that was in a town called Mercy. We saw a couple of Sycorax, we saw the Blowfish Man from Torchwood. We saw the weird things from the Sarah Jane Adventures with like one eye and a hood that was in the very last episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures. What else did you see? We saw lots of different aliens. I kept pausing it and just looking to try and spot each one, which is something I think everyone should do, because I guarantee you'll spot something that I haven't seen. But no, it was really, really good. It was really nice because we saw the Ood and everything again, and it wasn't, you know, oh look, let's have a story about the Ood. It just made sense. It made sense that there's bars in the universe where all different aliens. We saw the Hath there as well, but where all different aliens just come and have a great time. It made sense, and I really like that idea. But I'm kind of cheating with this one because I've included a lot of the episode under this point. The introduction of Davros. The introduction of Davros was amazing. He was a kid, and you're thinking, oh, he's a kid in the battlefield. Now I feel sorry for him. Oh shit, it's Davros. We don't feel as sorry for him. It was fantastic, and the introduction of Davros in the chamber, him in the chair in the chamber, was fantastic. Gillian Beach is amazing as Davros because everything about him is good. He's like, he can just play him so well. When he's sat in the chair and he's meant to be dying and he's got his arm over his mouth or his head's just completely barren, it looks fantastic, and it looks like Davros is really ill and dying. And I'm so glad Davros is back, and the way he's being played this time is just fantastic. I love it. Number 3, we have the cliffhanger. Spoilers, by the way. I should have probably said that at the beginning, but spoilers. We have the cliffhanger. I'm including up from Mrs. Extermination to the Doctor exterminating Davros, or we think he's going to exterminate Davros, as the whole cliffhanger, because I love I love Missy. I love her mannerisms. I just love everything about her. She's brilliant. And when she stood up there and she goes, "Oh, would you rather just kill me?" And everyone turns to the Supreme Dalek and they kill her. They kill her. She doesn't teleport away with the vortex manipulator that slaves the Claras. It was fantastic. And then the TARDIS got blown up. Clara died. And then we saw the Doctor travel back to Skaro, back to the war, and go and attempt to shoot Davros, which if he does, will fuck everything up because it's a paradox. Which he had to go at Clara at. Fucking hell, he's a hypocrite. He had to go at Clara in the... Number 2, we have the introduction of Skaro. Skaro, we've kind of seen before in Asylum of the Daleks, but we actually saw Skaro as it looked in the very first episode with Hartnell. The very first Dalek episode with Hartnell. It looked fantastic. We saw the little streets and everything. If you pause it on the city, you can just see like little windows and little Daleks on the street. It's amazing. I love it. But the actual intro was fantastic. The whole planet was invisible. So where was the sun? But that doesn't matter. The whole planet was invisible. And then they started walking out, and she saw that she had dust on her hand. They turned around, and there was Skaro. And we saw an old Dalek actually speaking. We saw a classic Dalek. Its headlights were a little bit too far up. They looked a bit weird, and he had a light in his eye, which looked a bit weird as well. But we saw we saw a classic Dalek talk and move, which just instant tick right there. It was amazing. I loved it. And also the way Missy looked so scared when she backed off and was going, no, they rebuilt it. She looked really scared, and that, as a character that isn't really scared of much, it's great to see something that she's scared of. Love it. Number 1 was a lot of debating with myself because I didn't really know what to put at number 1, but I decided to put the introduction of Missy because that scene was so good. It was probably one of the best introductions or a best reintroduction of a character we've had in a very long time. All UNIT are there. How is Clara the cleverest person at UNIT? But that's not important. All of UNIT were there, and he's typing, and then it's just Missy. You so fine, you blow my mind. It was such a good episode. And Missy then, when she's on the screen and she says, "I'm going to need 8 snipers, 3 for each heart and 2 for my brain stem," was such a... The way she played it was so amazing. It was so random, and like her voice would higher and lower, and it was just, you didn't really know where you were with her, and I loved that. And then when Clara went to Tenerife or wherever they were supposed to be, and they had their whole conversation, it was really nice because Missy is still evil, which I love, because often when you reintroduce characters, especially when Stephen Moffat reintroduces characters, they become less scary as time goes on. Cough the Weeping Angels. But she's still freaky and good, but I really, really like her. I think she's at her best because it's not a Missy, it's not a master story. She's just there to help the Doctor, and that means she can blossom, and I really, really love that. And just the whole introduction of Missy, the whole reintroduction of her is amazing because she's still just as evil, just as crazy, and just as amazing. So that is it for my top 5 moments from The Magician's Apprentice. I cannot wait for episode 2, The Witch is Familiar, which is on tomorrow. I will hopefully try and do a top 5 video for that as well. But I appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please do so, and check out my last video, which is a ranking of all the episodes from Series 8 in order from worst to best. That's quite interesting. You probably won't agree with what I've said. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. No one died. No one died. You can't really kill a caster kid, can you? I mean... But it was also impractical.